Welcome to Red 5 Standing By. I wanted to do a quick video on the news that just dropped of Lucasfilm deciding to scrap the standalone films, which means the rumored Boba Fett movie and the standalone Obi-Wan movie have been put on hold indefinitely, which is a huge bummer. I really wanted to see a standalone Obi-Wan film, and I thought a Boba Fett movie post Return of the Jedi could have been really cool, or if it happened before the original trilogy, something about the criminal underworld, that could have been really interesting to see, but just anything but an origin story. I really wanted to see those films, and it was just a bummer. I think the standalone films themselves had a great opportunity to tell stories that happened outside of the saga films, and that don't necessarily happen to do with the Skywalkers. And the Skywalker story does have a huge influence on shaping the galaxy, but the entire history of the Star Wars universe doesn't involve the Skywalker. So I thought the standalone films were a great opportunity to tell stories in sort of that vein. And to me, this news really makes it feel like Lucasfilm is being very reactionary, especially after the box office sort of disappointment of what Solo: A Star Wars Story was. I always thought they should have pushed that movie back to December. They would have had more time to polish the movie a bit and market it better. And I felt it would have fared better in the December slot instead of smacking in the middle of summer. It would have less competition because it had to compete with Avengers: Infinity War, Deadpool, and a whole bunch of other blockbuster movies that come out in the summer. And I always think that Star Wars should be a yearly thing. December should be about Christmas, the holidays, and Star Wars. It gives it a little bit more prestige, give you something more to build up to, and having it happen so close to The Last Jedi. It was 6 months from the release of The Last Jedi, and I think that hurt it a bit. And to me, it feels a lot like how Warner Brothers is handling the DC properties. They noticed that Wonder Woman did really big for a number of reasons, it being the first female-led superhero film, and just a whole bunch of things went towards it being a great movie, and it is, in my opinion, it is a great movie. Then they turn around and say, oh, Wonder Woman is this really popular character, let's go back and reshoot a whole bunch of stuff in Justice League and have it focus mostly on her. Whatever you think of the movie, I thought they would have fared better had they would just gone with Zack Snyder's original plan, and the movie would have felt less jumbled without all the reshoots. And I think another thing that really kind of contributes towards this decision and just the whole state of what Lucasfilm and Star Wars is right now is there's no person in charge of the creative department of Lucasfilm and heading the Star Wars stories and see what movies are being made. And it's really evident in how you look at how different The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi are to each other, and how that whole just approach to here's one Star Wars movie, let's have J.J. Abrams helm that and then get somebody else to tell their story, and there's no real clear direction to where these movies need to take place. And I think having somebody in charge of that, a creative like, say, Dave Filoni, someone that understands the Star Wars universe really well and also understands how to tell a really great story and is a storyteller in their own right. And I just think they need somebody like that in charge of this, just basically the overall arcing story of what movies need to get made and how they fit into the overall narrative of the Star Wars universe. I just think somebody like that in charge could really help just clear up a lot of what's going on with Lucasfilm and more particularly Star Wars. And that doesn't mean that I think Kathleen Kennedy needs to step down as president of Lucasfilm. I think she's done a fantastic job thus far, with only really one stumble throughout all the Star Wars films. I mean, just looking at her filmography, she's produced some of the most memorable and probably some of the best movies that have been ever put to film. And as if with all the drama behind the scenes with Solo and its disappointing box office numbers doesn't put enough pressure on JJ already, this news puts even more pressure on him in Episode 9, because if he doesn't come out swinging for the fences in Episode 9, the fandom is going to really backlash and really call for a big change over at Lucasfilm. And I think based on how Episode 9 performs could really shape how the rest of all the other movies after that really shapes where they go from there. Because if it ends up being one of the best Star Wars movies ever, in one movie things just get back on track and everybody's back to believing in what Disney is doing over at Lucasfilm. But on the flip side of that, if God forbid Episode 9 just completely bombs, there's going to be such huge fan backlash towards Disney and just wanting to redo everything and possibly fire Kathleen Kennedy, which again, I don't think they really need to do. She's a fantastic producer. The business side of hiring the right people to head your projects. She's fantastic at that. I just think that they need somebody else that's more creative and more of a storyteller behind the scenes, just to make sure everything's fitting together properly and heading towards a proper direction. So those are my quick thoughts on the news that Lucasfilm is now scrapping the standalone films for now, at least. This could all change in the next week, months, or even based on how episode 9 does, but I want to know what you think, so go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like and share it, and of course I will be talking anything and everything Star Wars on this channel. I'd love for you to stay up to date on all of those. Thanks as always for watching, and may the Force be with you.